Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call the special city council meeting of January 29th, 2024 to order. Ms. Cassandra.
Mayor David Romero,
Here.
Councilor Barbara Casey,
Here.
Councilor Michael Montoya,
Present.
Councilor David Ulivari.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have a quorum.
Mr. Montoya, Councilor Montoya, will you lead us in the pledge?
Place allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Ulivari, will you lead us in
Not too much to say. I'm going to thanks for all of us here, all the workers at the city of Las Vegas, for all the good job they do for us and our citizens.
Councilors, anything else to add? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, approval of the agenda.
Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the agenda as presented.
A motion by Councilor Casey. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Ulivari. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to public input. We have no public input this afternoon. Moving on to approval of minutes for January 10th, 2024.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes for January 10th, 2024, with just one typo that was corrected.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey with that one change. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Ulivari.
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Montoya.
Yeah, Mr. City Manager, on item, page number 5,
Of the minutes.
I had asked about the funding for the Rodriguez Park. Do you have an update on that, or when will they give us an update on that?
This is just for the minutes.
Yeah, it's on the minutes.
Yeah.
And we had asked for, I had brought up the issue that we needed to have a report on Rodriguez Park, see where we're at on the funding.
Okay.
See if when we were going to get that.
And I apologize, sir, I do not have that available at this time. I'll need to circle back on that.
And also, I didn't want to lose touch of the item number, page 15. We also discussed, and this will probably be coming back to us on the next meeting or so, but it's a discussion that took place on the inspection of the Samaritan House. Could you give us that report also? I just don't want to lose sight of this stuff.
Yes, sir. So the inspection was done at the Samaritan House. They are back in code now. The fire inspection is complete there. They are done.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager.
With that, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilor Montoya.
Yes.
Councilor Casey.
Yes.
Councilor Ulivari.
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey, a second by Councilor Ulivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to our business items. Item number 1, request approval of a grant agreement between the New Mexico Office of the State Engineer and the City of Las Vegas. Mr. City Manager Montgomery.
So Mayor and Council, this agenda item that we brought forward is a contract between the City of Las Vegas and the State of New Mexico. The purpose of this contract is to assist with the emergency water lease rights that have been put in place back in, I believe, the month of December. This contract will permit the City of Las Vegas to receive $2 million in total from the State of New Mexico to pay for the emergency of those water rights. What will happen if this moves forward is we would receive $500,000 as the first installment to pay for the lease rights for fiscal year 2023. We would then receive $1 million for fiscal year 2024 and then conclude the contract in fiscal year 2025 with the remaining $500,000 for a total of $2 million.
Thank you, Tim. And just a reminder, this isn't a contract. This is for the actual funding. Am I correct?
That's correct, sir.
And I know Councilors, Councilman Montoya, myself, and Tim did meet with Mr. Dominici last week. I can't remember what day it was.
We had that meeting last Wednesday. We met with Attorney Domenici, really just going through the intent of the water rights versus water quantity itself. The contract that we had gone into was for water rights. That's in response to the reduction or reduced water availability that we had, and we went through an emergency lease process so that we could gain water rights. The state was willing to contribute this $2 million to pay for that emergency right.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the grant agreement between New Mexico Office of the State Engineer and the City of Las Vegas.
A motion by Councilor Casey. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Ulibarri.
Mr. Mayor.
Discussion? Councilman
Yes.
Montoya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if it's apparent how this is going to turn out or not, but regardless, we have to be transparent with the public, with our community. And I advised back in June of last year that the city of Las Vegas would not use a drop of water by December 31st as per the lease agreement, and we didn't. I advised that the treatment plant would be gone by November of last year. Well, it's gone. I stated it was not an emergency at the time, and it is still not an emergency. I stated that this was a sole source, that was not a sole source, and still is not a sole source. On day one, I asked that all shareholders be included. They were included 2 weeks ago. On day one, I indicated that we would be setting precedents on the price of water per acre foot for future use. Despite whatever is written on black and white today, my comments still hold. I believe as of today, we still have 500 acre-feet of water at Story Lake, and our reservoirs are nearly full. We are getting no assurance on the quality or the quantity of water for this lease agreement for $2 million. And what happens after the 2-year period is gone? This is just a Band-Aid. Since day one, I supported a long-term solution, 20 or 30 years, of a one-time purchase or lease. To the best of my acknowledge, this item has never been brought before the Utilities Committee for discussion or recommendation. And I wonder where the media has been for the last 8 months, because people in our community don't have a clue as to what's being done here today. And as we see in the audience, we have 3 city employees only. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Montoya. Roll call, please.
Councilor Olivari?
Yes.
Councilor Casey?
Yes.
Councilor Montoya?
No.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey, a second by Councilor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
And for the record, this was for the actual funding, and thank you, councilors, for approving it. Had we not, then I don't know where the city would have come up with that money. Thank you. Next item.
Moving on to business item number 2, request approval of out-of-state travel for Beatriz Gallegos, Animal Care Manager, to attend training in Blue Ridge, Texas. We have our police chief, interim police chief, Mr. Caleb Marquez, and Ms. Gallegos.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Thank you. This is just a request to travel for Ms. Beatriz Gallegos. This is going to be for
The Lost Dog Recovery Workshop, as well as a puppy development workshop.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Montoya.
So this is for travel only, and the class or the training has been paid for, or?
The training has been paid for.
And who paid the training?
It was really a lot of people. There were a lot of people, given a lot of the issues that we're having in our community, a lot of people really wanted me to be able to attend this training, specifically the Lost Dog Recovery Workshop, to try to help figure out where some of these packs of dogs are moving to, and be able to help people whose dogs go missing find their dogs. That way they're not becoming feral dogs. So people gathered donations, and they basically paid for the training for us. So we don't have to pay for that. All I'm asking for is the per diem for the trip to pay for room and board.
So who solicited that money?
I'm not exactly sure how it started. It kind of looks like it was between the nonprofit that helps the shelter and then just friends, the institute itself, some of their trainers who have worked with us in our community.
Okay. I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that one, Mr. Mayor and Council. But, so this training is particularly for one breed of dogs or all breeds of dogs?
All breeds of dogs.
And is this a requirement from the city of Las Vegas?
No.
No?
No, but it is something that will benefit our community, that we
Yes.
can figure out, again, where a lot of these packs of dogs are going to, because I think the mayor was aware there was a large pack of dogs on Grand and nobody could figure out where they were going.
Yeah.
We still can't figure out where they were going, so it would be really beneficial for us to figure out how dogs navigate and how they travel. And then the puppy development workshop would help, because we are always getting puppies who don't have moms or animals who are just way too young, and it will go over a lot of the developmental aspects, but also the nutritional based aspects. That way we have a better understanding of how to help those animals.
I understand that. Thank you. Mr. City Manager, is there an employee's policy or employee's handbook or the code of conduct that allows employees to solicit, or the city to solicit funding for training that you're aware of? 'Cause
I do know that we have anti-donation clause. I believe that that is within the employee handbook, but I'm going to need to pull that handbook to get the specific language, and I can try doing that.
I've never, Mr. Mayor, Council, I've never heard of us soliciting donations to send anybody to training. If that's the case, how much money was raised?
I believe it was somewhere around 1,400
1,400.
to cover most of it.
I would request, Mayor and Council, that our city manager look into our policy and if need be, divert that money back. I don't think that's appropriate. I think it's against procurement code, and I think it's against the anti-cost donation. I mean, this is the first time I've ever heard about that. But, is this your recommendation, Mr. Chief?
Yes, sir. This would help out, especially with the packs of dogs that we do have in town. And then we've had a large influx of puppies, and I believe we had an intake of around 27 dogs this month, and majority of them were puppies that were cut away from the mothers way too early. And I think it'll help us treat those animals the best we can.
And is any of this management skills part of it? For obtaining, like, for instance, POs and requisitions and management and how to deal with employees and earning, like, management materials training on this? No? Just for dogs?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. All right. I would request that if this is approved, that, I don't know, Madam Clerk, if we can put in both items on here or not, because I'm positive we can't use that money. Our staff cannot use money donated from anywhere else. And I think the city has to pay for both the training and the traveling.
So Mayor, Counselor, it's just request approval of out-of-state travel. It doesn't have a set amount. So if you were to amend the motion to include that, you could do so.
So, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Matoya. I just think, yes, we have that. I don't believe that Ms. B. Gallego solicited. Just, having conversations with these organizations, I think they offered and they paid directly. There was nothing where the city made these payments or did any of that. This kind of similar to other grants that maybe PD or other organizations where organizations will pay for the actual training, but not for the per diem and the hotel. And I think that's what's happened here is they paid for the training for her. This is a benefit to the city. There was no solicitation, no money came through the city that, or any letters from Ms. B. Gallegos that I know of. I just know that they offered to pay for the training and basically we're just, she's coming here and I think you'd done this before in the past, but actually you paid on your own, on your own dime. Am I correct? So this is just something that we continue to talk about professional development within the city of Las Vegas. And I know where you're coming from, but I don't believe that any city letterhead or any city requests of B as a city employee made the request for this. It was just in speaking with advocates and some of these other nonprofits, they offered for the training, and that's how this all came about. Any other?
I think the anti-donation clause is being misinterpreted. The anti-donation clause is that the city, a government, cannot give money to a private entity or a private citizen. But if people, which is what happened here, there's a group of people that have been advocating to raise money so that they can help our shelter. And that's where this money is coming from. They've been working on fundraisers for I don't know how long, and they post things on Facebook. They've had various fundraisers at the Plaza Hotel and other places to raise money so that not only can B attend workshops that are going to be beneficial to the city, but also to buy supplies such as straw and food, vaccines, and other things. So there is nothing illegal or inappropriate with people giving the city money for a particular use. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Olivari?
I kind of see it different because I hope that training would have been for our code enforcement too, because our code enforcement, I don't know if she manages part of the code enforcement or not, but we have packs of dogs all over the city on the west side. I haven't seen a citation on the people that have dogs that are running around the city, and they know that they belong to the people. They're giving out citation to people that are dogs loose, and the things that it's very awful when they're not code enforcement aren't doing their job. It'd be nice that training would have been for code enforcement too, or maybe you could have a training for both the manager and code enforcement.
Yes, sir. And part of that too is that she's gonna bring some of that training back and assist with the animal control officers and how to identify and find resources for these animals as well.
Correct, yes. And code enforcement has not made these relationships with this organization that I have. So it was specifically offered for me to go. And I do think it's beneficial that I take this training because I am in this for the long haul. I'm not sure how long our code or animal control officers have been with us, but I am here and I am willing to put a lot of time into this place. So whoever is here and stepping in, I'm willing to help them any way that I can. And this training will help me help them.
That's it, Mr. Moore.
All right, thank you. Mr.
Mayor and council, I did just reach out to our HR director, and we do not have a clause regarding specific donations, but it was confirmed that what Councilor Casey was saying is correct, and that the anti-donation clause is misinterpreted often, but in this case, donating funds that we did not solicit, did not use our resources would be appropriate.
With that, do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the out-of-state travel for B. Gallegos, animal care manager, to attend training in Blue Ridge, Texas, to learn about lost dog recovery and puppy development.
A motion by Councilor Casey. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor, question. Mr. City Manager, I would like for you to go ahead and also look at the code of conduct, and specifically item number 2, letter A, B, C, and D, and review that. And
So we have a,
proceed with
we have
whatever.
a motion on the, motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Counselor Montoya?
No, if we would be paying for both, yes, but no, thank you.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Motion by Counselor Casey, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Udari. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.